Good evening. The headlines. North Korea warns of an uncontrollable catastrophe as the tension escalates over its atomic energy program. Saddam Hussein issues a defiant Christmas message as Iraqi TV proudly shows pictures of a downed American spy plane. And they're calling it a miracle. Plane hits car, 4 walk away unhurt. North Korea today accused the US of pushing the region towards a nuclear war as it completed the removal of UN seals from a nuclear reactor frozen in 1994. The American Secretary of State Colin Powell has spent the day talking to North Korea's neighbors, and here the Foreign Office Minister Bill Rammel described the situation as very worrying, as Gary Gibbon reports.
North Korea warned of uncontrollable catastrophe if the United States meddled in its moves to reopen this nuclear plant. Today, North Korea is reported to have removed the last of hundreds of security seals put on the nuclear sites 8 years ago as part of a deal in return for desperately needed fuel imports. Some analysts are suggesting that what North Korea is trying to do is apply pressure to get help for its dire economy, and in London the Foreign Office seemed to agree. The Foreign Office Minister, Bill Rammel, said, "I think it is probably a fairly ham-fisted attempt to gain international leverage, but our best analysis at the moment is that this is not a regime that is hell-bent on confrontation." The president of South Korea said the nuclear situation in the region was becoming more alarming with every day. And today he held urgent talks with a string of ambassadors from the region. Back in 1994, Hans Blix, the UN weapons inspector now heading the investigators in Iraq, concluded that North Korea was trying to extract weapons-grade plutonium to make nuclear bombs. The latest nuclear site to be reopened is a storage area holding thousands of spent fuel rods capable of making several nuclear bombs. Washington was trying to project an air of calm today. The US Secretary of State Colin Powell was in contact with North Korea's neighbors in the region. The State Department said the US was seeking a peaceful resolution of the matter.
Saddam Hussein has sent out a defiant Christmas Eve message to his people. He's told them UN weapons inspections, if fair, will expose American lies and prove Iraq is free of weapons of mass destruction. It comes after Iraqi jets shot down an American spy plane over the no-fly zone in southern Iraq. It's the third drone to be shot down, but the first to be hit by Iraqi fighters. Adding to the increased tension, United Nations inspectors say they have begun talking to some Iraqi scientists and have confirmed they're making preparations to take some of them out of the country.
But as far as those private interviews are concerned, all I can say is preparations are underway, and we are looking at various modalities, particularly in those who might wish to go out of this country.
7 Algerian men were charged today in Edinburgh with an offence under the Terrorism Act. The men appeared at a 1-hour hearing in Edinburgh's Sheriff's Court. The proceedings were translated into Arabic. They'll appear in court again at the end of the month. Police are still questioning the mother who allegedly left her 11-year-old son home alone while she flew abroad on holiday. It's believed the 33-year-old woman took her son with her to the airport but sent him home when she realised she didn't have his passport with her. The boy is now in care. 4 people today somehow emerged unscathed after a plane crashed into a car on a road just outside Aberdeen Airport. The 17-seater passenger aircraft took off at 7:45 this morning, when minutes later had to make an emergency landing in a field. It bounced through a hedge, onto the road and into a car.
I just came around the corner seconds after it happened. There was a huge ball of flames, thick balloon smoke, and 2 ladies very distraught on the side of the road. I've got out and phoned the emergency services, and halfway through talking to the fire brigade, the lady informed me she was the driver of the car and that it was a plane that had crashed into her.
It could have been a lot worse. They could have struck a bus, they could have struck an oil tanker. As it was, everybody was lucky all round.
The 2 pilots of the plane, the driver of the car and another driver travelling behind were all taken to hospital but have no serious injuries. The 2 drivers have now been allowed to go home. An inquiry is underway. The man already charged with 9 rapes around southeast England has been charged with more sex offences, this time in Birmingham. Anthony Emila is now also charged with kidnapping, indecently assaulting and attempting to rape a 10-year-old girl in Birmingham